Good morning. I would like to begin to introduce the first two modules of the course. Please visit your handout later for more detail. In the first module, we will revisit the concept of instructional design. We will answer the questions, what is instructional design? And explain the basics of the instructional design process. Now, what is the instructional design? According to trends and culture, instructional design is intended to be an iterative process of planning outcome, selecting effective strategy for teachings and learnings, choosing relevant technology, identifying educational media, and measuring performance. Or we can simply put, instructional design is the process of composing instructional material to create a learning content with how to achieve learning objectives. Instructional design helps to find the gap in student knowledge, skill sets, and attitudes, and analyze the learning need to be develop the learning material to match the learner demanding. A practical result of instructional design will give the learner meaningful and effective instructions and make their learning more practical, more effective, and improve retaining the learning content. To discuss about instructional design process. In general, the instructional design process can be controlled by following 7 critical steps. Step 1. Research or analyze the need of the learners as well as the training need. Next, we need to sorting and composing the data we have collected on step 1 to create a practical and comprehensive profiles of the learner. This profile include but not limit to the learner competencies on the topic of training and their learning tendencies. Step 3. We have to determine the learning targets. What the instructor need to achieve at the end of the learning section. Step 4. This is one of the most critical steps and the longest step of the process. Step 4 is designing process. This is where the instructional design process starts. This is where the instructors decide which instructional design mode they want to use or apply, and what technologies they want to use for their classes. Step 5. They will create a storyboard or build the logical structures of the lessons or curriculum or even the semester. This is the step in which the instructors have to determine their primary approach of instructions. Step 6 is creating the first test products. This is the step where we start to introducing and applying the frameworks of teachings to test the qualities of our design. Last step is the designer would have to refine the instructional design products, monitors, and improves the final products when they applies into the classroom. This is the critical stage of the collecting data on how instructional design works or the gap between the theory and practice of instructional design. The next module we will discussing about instructional design models. So what is instructional design models? We can simply put that instructional design models are the plurals to describe the different approach to construct a learning products. There are some important characteristics of the instructional design mode. First, usually instructional design modes is goal-oriented. Well-defined goals are essentials. Second, creating a valid and reliable measuring instruments is critical. The implementation state of any instructional design models asks for reliable data. To collect reliable data, we need reliable measurement instruments. Data are at the heart of the process. As we can see, every instructional design models will start with analyzing and collecting data, and also at the end of any process, we ask for collecting data to continue to improve the process and the products. And last but not least, instructional design. A typical team effort is really hard to conduct instructional design with any mode. No matter the mode we choose, it's really hard to do it by yourself. There are several popular instructional design modes, and here we have some example. The most popular ones probably will be the ADDID mode. The next one is really heavy on theory and we use it a lot to create a measurements or state what kind of instructors or the level of learning the student need to achieve. That is Bloom taxonomy. The next one, really popular, is a Gainer's 9-event instructional mode. Another one is really popular at the times is the action mapping. And the last one is the S.A.M mode. In the models, we will focus on S.A.M mode. As you can see, in here is the diagram of how to conduct the design using S.A.M mode. So what is S.A.M mode? S.A.M mode stands for Successive Approximations Mode. This is an agile development mode, which means that multi-steps are happening simultaneously. The S.A.M process is iterative. Its development state is cycled through at least 3 times, and each cycle should help us to push closer the products of the designer closer to the ideal that's of the product which we want compared to the previous one. It is especially widely used in the programming with the Scrum model. In our class, we will learn about the S.A.M mode by comparing with ADDIE mode, which is one of the most popular and reliable modes of instructional design. We can start with review the ADDIE mode with the pro and con. The ADDIE is a commonly used and widely accepted mode. This is one of the biggest pros factors of ADDIE mode. It has been used as the foundation for several other instructional design modes. It can be used in both traditional instructions or individual instructions, or even really popular when it creates the e-learnings or online learning contents. Another advance of AIDD mode is that it can be used with different evaluations strategies. especially work well when the measurement criteria is re- is something really basic such as times or cost. However, ADDIE mode also carries some really big disadvantages. The ADDIE mode is a linear process. That means you have to finish one state before you start for the next one. If we encounter any problem, we won't recognize it until the very end when the product's almost already created. At that time, if we want to fix it, we have to do everything from the beginning. This is one of the biggest disadvantages. It make ADDIE mode sometimes really costly and time consuming. S.A.M is a more modern approach. S.A.M is an agile approach and collaborative mode that's gained so much popular among instructional designers nowadays. The ASTDs are the American Associate of Training and Development have been deployed S.A.M for their educations and trainings for a long time. The benefits of the S.A.M mode is allow the team design to be flexible. The repetitive review state create opportunities to communicate and adjust design to answer the important feedback. Uh, Iterative mode is responsive in nature, and S.A.M is no different. When we're using S.A.M mode, we can save time and money. Many teams can see the benefits of the iterative process because change can be costly. By anticipating an adjustment and allow time to identify change, the process can be really flexible without very limit of to be redone or reduce the process. However, repeated repetitive also becomes the biggest downfall of S.A.M. Because it can create the density designs and create errors. The repeat of the cycle may also lead to waiting times and resources, especially when the some projects that don't need uh, don't have requirements for that level of repetitiveness. Please take some minutes to discuss and raise your concerns about today's section.